when we can't fight the tears and the pain is severe, when the questions outnumber the answers, and we're all left to wonder what's happening here. Too soon a departure for you. Some of us can't figure out what to do, and in the meantime I'll look to heaven for you. If there's one thing I learned from being your friend, is that life may be short, but the music don't end. And if life is a music and music is song, I will keep singing, I'm gonna keep keeping on. In the meantime, I'll look to heaven for you. I made this promise to you. I remember the things that you taught me to do. I'll keep writing music, I promise you that. And I'll do my best to get out of B flat. But this one we started together. Now I'm on my own, so I'll finish alone. And in the meantime, I'll look to heaven for you. If there's one thing I learned from being your friend, is that life may be short, but the music don't end. And if our life is music and music is song, I will keep singing, I'll keep keeping on. And in the meantime, I'll look to heaven for you. If there's one thing I learned from being your friend, is that life may be short, but the music don't end. And if our life is a music and music is song, I will keep singing, I'll keep keeping on. In the meantime, I'll look to heaven for you. In the meantime, I'll look to heaven for you.
Good evening, and welcome to A Grieving Mother's Journey, Leakland, where we air every Sunday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. with open mic every third Sunday from 6:20 to 6:50 p.m. We bring grieving mothers together to share, trust, and bond with one another and to spread awareness of the pain that is caused when others choose to take a life by violence, and the various struggles we face on a daily basis just to make it through the day. I hope that this will make those that are on that horrible path think twice and turn their lives around. Welcome. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to Our Grieving Others Journey, and those that are tuning in for the first time, welcome. So just really quick, for those, I am streaming on Twitch now, so for those of you that are kind of just tuning in, this is A Grieving Mother's Journey, and as the introduction kind of explained what this podcast is about, you can head on over to YouTube. The link is in my bio on there if you want to get caught up to kind of figure out what's going on. Help yourself anytime. They're there. They're not going anywhere. So thank you for joining. I appreciate you guys coming in. Tonight we are doing Gone But Never Forgotten. We're on season 2, episode 41. This is a tribute to our angels. Now, for those of you that do know me and my family, this is based off and dedicated in honor of my son who was murdered May 15th, 2022. However, we all experience a loss one way or the other, regardless of how or who. So our Grieving Mother's Journey on Facebook, our Facebook group page and the regular page, we welcome anyone that's grieving, because really this is tailored towards grief and trying to bond with one another. Anyone that grieves, especially moms or dads that's lost a child by homicide, we have an unspoken bond, right? So anyway, tonight's episode, we are being our angel's voice. That's whether you've lost an angel by fentanyl, by suicide, homicide, an accident, illness. It's all a loss, all the same. And so we're here to honor our angels. We are their voice now, right? Because they're no longer here. So we're going to be their voice, and we're going to forever speak their name, because they're going to forever be in our hearts. So this is a time for you to come on in, share your amazing memories. It doesn't have to be a sad memory. If it is, then that's fine too. And I say this every time. My platform is a no judgment, no pressure zone. I did put the link out there if anybody wants to come on in live and join me, chit chat, share some memories of your angels. I would love that. There's also a phone number. You can go ahead and call in if you prefer. I don't know. Yeah, I put the number on there, 571-409-3400. So if you choose, you can call in and share your memory. So again, those of you that's been with me over a year now, of course, I'm going to give a shout out to my son, Malik Davis. But I want to, for me, I want to give my brother some props tonight. And I haven't been able to do that in over 3 years. When I lost my brother, I was in really bad grief for 5 years after his loss. And the only thing that took that away temporarily was the loss of my son. So I haven't really been able to concentrate on any other loss. Those of you that have lost a child, you know exactly what I'm talking about. With the chart, the most excruciating loss is the loss of a child. And especially if it's by homicide, gun violence, or what have you, it's excruciating. And of course, below that is when a son loses a mother, and then the rest fall underneath. That's not in no way saying that one grief is worse than the other, but the grief is different. And like I've said before, I can definitely attest to that, because I've already lost my mom. I've lost my dad. I've lost my brother. I lost my son. I've lost a niece, and I've lost cousins and aunts and uncles. So, the list goes on and on and on. So, and each one, the grief was just different. And I have to honestly say that the loss of my son was the worst grief that I've ever had to endure. So anyway, Keep in mind, like I said, you can leave a comment, you can call in, you can join me on the platform. The link has been put out there. If you want to click on that, I'll bring you on in. But I would love to hear some great memories, some amazing memories of your angel. Use this as a time to let the world know about your angel, whether it's your son, your daughter, your sister, your brother, your mother, your father, your cousin, whoever it may be. Let the world know who they were. So I will kick it off. Like I said, my brother, um, Desmond Scott Earl Sr., he was born March 25th, 1965. And he gained his wings on October 3rd, 2015. So it's been about 10 years that he's been gone. He actually passed away on my niece's birthday. I'll never forget that call that I got from my daughter. I was living in Florida at the time. Me, Malik, and Najee, we were living in Florida. It was devastating. Had to fly home and, take care of business and give my brother a proper homecoming as much as we could, So for those of you that know my family, my brother was known as HNIC. And I'm sure y'all know what that is. If you don't, it's Head Ninja in Charge. And when I tell you that name fit him or that nickname fit him, yeah, it fit him. Now, granted, he's my baby brother. He stood about 6'1", I think. Powerful dude. Took no mess from nobody. I'm going to tell you a story later on. It's funny, but my brother Desmond was the epitome of the love for family. He would literally lay his life down for his kids, his lady, his sisters, his mother, his aunts, all the way down the line. He didn't care. He would do what he would have to do. And I'm kind of thankful that he wasn't here when they murdered my son because, he would not stop. He wouldn't stop. So that's the kind of person he was. He was also very loving. He was a very loving father. Loved his kids to the moon and back. Would do anything for those kids. He didn't have the best life, neither, of course, we grew up together. So, we grew up without a lot. But my mother taught us to value family, and that was passed on down the line. And my kids will attest to that. When you have family, you don't need anything else, right? When you have that love of family. And he was all about family. Maybe my nephew, Tommy, will chime in because he can tell you some stuff too about Uncle Desmond. Everybody loved Uncle Desmond. But let me tell you a story about him. So he was one of those that meant what he said and did what he meant. Like if he tells you something, you can bet he's gonna do it, right? Sometimes I have to shake my hand and be like, Desmond, come on. Sissy. I don't care, Sissy. So this was way back. I think he was living in Maine at the time. And somebody was talking smack to him over the phone. I think they used the N-word. And they were going back and forth. He told him to hold on a minute. He puts the phone down, goes to the dude's house, taps him on the shoulder, and whoops his behind. Listen, my brother didn't care. Even when it came to policemen,
And where we're from, they all knew my brother. Hey, Mr. Earl. Hey, Mr. Earl. Back home, we're very well-known family. Very large family. The Joneses, yes. They didn't really mess with him. But I think they approached him one time, and he was willing to talk or whatever, but he was like, just don't put your hands on me. Don't put your hands on me. That's a cue. It didn't matter who you were. He's going to warn you first, respectfully. And he wasn't obnoxious or anything about it. Yeah, we'll talk. Just don't put your hands on me. Well, one of them decided they was going to grab him by the arm. He whooped his behind. Listen, my brother was a character. He was a character. But he was sweet as a button. Big teddy bear. Don't mess with him. But he, if you loved him, he loved you. He was a protector. He was a family man. He was funny. There's a video that's out there my niece Yamika has. And he was, okay, this is driving me. So I've been in this office for like an hour now. And not one time did Sadie decide she wanted to act a fool. Now she's being retarded. I know y'all can hear the barking. Anyway, so, but my brother cared. He had a big heart and he cared. So, he just didn't take any mess. Anytime you have a Black man that moves to a state like Maine, and I'm not talking right there, Kittery and all, I'm talking in the boondocks where Caucasians look at you like they've never seen a Black person before, most likely because they haven't. But he went where his kids were. So he moved up there. And nobody messed with him. They knew better. My brother could go anywhere because, again, he didn't play. And he could fight. He could definitely fight. He'll put you down in a heartbeat. But so yeah, that's my brother. He did pass away. He was 50 years old, 50 years young. He passed away in his sleep from a heart attack. He really didn't take care of himself the way he should have. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying, the stages. The loss of a child is the top as far as grief. The next one is when a son loses a mom. Well, he's testimony to that as well. My brother was never the same after that. He still maintained, but throughout his life, he didn't really take care of himself. And I believe it's because he wanted to go be with my mother. And he didn't take his life, but he didn't do anything to stop his life from being gone, So he dealt, it was very hard for him. And, like I said, he maintained and, but he went through life longing for mama the rest of his life until he passed away. So yeah, and it's crazy because again, it goes back to the type of person he was. He actually passed away in a like a hospice home. Now, those places usually people aren't supposed to spend the night. But again, it's my brother. Nobody messed with him. He did what he wanted to do. And he was there for a friend. That's another thing. He was always there for friends, no matter what, and never wanted anything in return. He did it because that's the type of man he was. And so a friend of his was, in hospice. He was dying. And he went to go spend the night with him. And the next morning, he was gone. His friend was still living, but they found my brother. He had passed away. But he passed away being there for a friend. So, yeah, so that's my funny story, my good story about the one that I wanted to lift up and be a voice for. So, if there's anybody else out there that like to share something about their angel, we'd love to hear it. Click on the link, come on board, leave a comment, or give us a call, 571-409-3400, and kind of just share something about your angel. It's up to us to keep our angel's name alive, right? Because they did exist and their life did matter. And like I've said before, I don't know about y'all, but I'm going to forever and ever speak about my son. And I did a little quick podcast the other day of justice. I know there was one out there before when we received the justice for the adult Perkins that was convicted for orchestrating my son's murder. And then, we got justice from one of the juveniles. We got justice with that. But the other day was the final sentencing. So it's a weird feeling for me, but I'm in a better space, surprisingly. And I'm hoping that it continues. I'm sure I'm still going to have a few bad days, because bottom line, justice or not, my son is still gone. I still miss him and I still love him and I still want him here. But mentally, I'm feeling a little better. And I know this because, I'm actually talking about my brother. And my brother meant a lot to me as well. But I just, during the 3 years and 3 months, I couldn't focus on anything else. There's no way I could have got up here and talked about my brother. But anyway, so it looks like I'm probably going to be the only one talking. So I guess there's someone else that I'd like to talk about. I guess I had Aunt Jan, fabulous woman. And she became a part of the family by marrying my Uncle Harry. Now, granted, the Joneses, huge family. And my grandparents, they had, I believe, 15 children. 2 didn't survive. So there were 13 children that my grandmother raised. 10 girls and 3 boys. So I only had 3 uncles. I had my Uncle TJ, my Uncle Roy, and my Uncle Harry. And my Uncle Harry was a junior. And so he brought Jan into the family. He married her. And, she continued in our lives. And when my mother passed, she had made a promise to my mom that she would look out for her children. And that she did. 100%. She taught me some things. She taught Moody some things, some very valuable things. She was always there to listen, always there to help in any way that she could. And, I remember just having talks with her, whether it's on the phone, she'd come visit. There was one thing that she did out of many, but the one thing that she did for me. So when I was pregnant with Najee, my youngest, and I was in college full time, and I had my other kids there, my great nephew and everything. So I'm raising these kids. I was also working part time. I was going to school full time, and I'm pregnant. And so Najee, they kind of diagnosed while I was pregnant that, she was going to be born with Down syndrome. For me, that didn't matter. Still my child. I'm going to raise my child, Down syndrome or not. So I was in class one day, and I'm sitting there, and I kept going like, ooh, Now, granted, I had already had 4 kids. So, I knew when it was time. And it was early. And I was like, ooh, and it kept coming. So I timed it, and I was like, oh, Lord. So I didn't say anything. I kept going through class. Now, I was going to Gibbs College off of Gallows Road. And I lived in Stafford, Virginia. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to keep it calm. School was over. I drove myself to Stafford. I get to Stafford and my water breaks. Crazy, crazy. Anyway, long story short, I go to the hospital. Miraculously, it stopped. Everything was good. Everything filled back up. They let me go home. So was it then? It was right before then. She dropped everything. She lived in Florida. She dropped everything and she came to stay and help me. She was there in the delivery room. And because I ended up back in the hospital because I started leaking again. And so I was being monitored, and I remember I'm in there. And so at this time while I was in there, she was at my house helping with the other kids. It was Moody's birthday. So she was doing the birthday celebration with the kids for me while I was in the hospital. And all of a sudden I'm laying there, not feeling anything. All of a sudden I hear this nurses and doctors running in the room, taking stuff off of me. We gotta go, massage, blah, blah, blah. Like, what's going on? You got to have a C-section. The baby's in distress. I'm like, oh my God. So I was like, call my aunt. So they called, she came over, they let her come in for the surgery, and I almost died. I was on that table so long that I could feel the anesthesia wearing off little by little. I could feel it coming off. And then all of a sudden, I hear the nurse say, I need blah, 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 and blah, 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 stat. Now, for me, I'm not feeling anything. I'm like, oh, Jim, what's going on? It's okay, honey. You're good. They're just going to get a couple things. But they had to actually give me blood. And I had also requested that my tubes were tied. I was like, I'm on the table. Look, this is it for me. Tie them up. But when they did that, it wouldn't stop bleeding. And that's when I was feeling them do this and this and this. And that's why I was losing blood. So she was there. She stayed with me for like 4 months. But that's the kind of person that she was. I can remember there's conversations her and I had about things that, I will take to my grave, but she would call me crying about things. That hurt her. People had hurt her. And, it was nice that she could come to me about things. And so we just had that relationship. And we were kind of like sisters because we would fight. We would fight sometime. I'd cuss her out. She cussed me out, but she was there. And she is now has her wings as well. So look, y'all. I'm getting tired of talking. Let me read some of these comments real quick. All right. Yeah. Kay says, fit him like a glove. That's back when I started talking about the HNIC. It really did. They should need to put that in the dictionary and put his name next to it as a definition. Yeah. And he sure didn't take nothing, even from the police. He just didn't care. But, he was respected, though. That's the thing. Back home, Matt, he was respected everywhere he went. And he made sure that you don't have to like me, but you are going to respect me. Crystal says, looking good. Oh, thank you, Mama. I know y'all. Did you notice? Did y'all notice? I cut my locks. Y'all. They were all the way down to my backside. And I cut them. But I'm happy. I like it. My neck's not like this all the time. Even when I have to retwist it, it's so much faster. And it grows so fast. It's going to be back down there, probably like a couple years. So it'll come back. But I'm loving it. I like it. I know I will never cut it off again. I did that one time before when it was that long. I cut it all the way off. Man, when I tell you I was so mad after I did that and there was nothing I could do. So about a year later after I did that, I started growing them back, and I'll never cut them off again. I will cut them down, but I won't cut them off. So anyway, it's 6:24, and I don't really have any more to share. So we might go ahead and end this early, because I don't plan on being on here talking a whole hour of angels. I guess, man, I already shared a lot of funny memories of my son. So during that tribute, I went ahead and shared that. But anyway, last call. If anybody wants to share anything about your son, your daughter, your husband, your wife, your mother, your father, your sister, your brother, your cousin, feel free to chime in, and let us know. Tell the world about your angel. If you've got some amazing, funny memories or stories, we'd love to hear it. Again, we're here to honor them. Thanks, Kay. She says, I loved hearing about Uncle Des. Miss him so much. Yeah, he was definitely a character. I know Tommy just when he was little, he just always wanted to be around Uncle Des, but Uncle Des was not having it. Boy, go on, take your what home, But I actually have a recording of him being Des. He had left me a voicemail, and but it's in Nani's phone, and she has my old phone, so it doesn't hold the charge very well, and it's dead. But I wanted to play that, but maybe next time if we do another tribute to our angels, I'll put it on. But yeah, he's crazy. It was funny. Okay, guys. Well, yeah, I don't, I lost my grandparents. I didn't really have the honor of knowing them that well. They lived in California for most of their life. I think it was Lompoc, California. They lived out there. So, I didn't get to grow up with my grandparents, but, all of my aunts, as a matter of fact, I think all but two of my aunts are gone. And of course, all of my uncles are gone now. But, that was back in the day when it took a village to raise a child, So not only did my mom instill the values that my grandparents had, all of her sisters did. So they made sure all us little ones grew up with respect. And it's crazy because I even do it today. Now, I'm an OG, but anyone around my age or older, I still say, hey, Miss So-and-so, how you doing, Miss So-and-so? I'll still go and help. It's the respect was instilled so much that I'll be 90 and still be calling somebody my age Miss. Crazy, right? But yeah, my mom instilled a lot of that in all of us kids. And of course, that trickled down. We all raised our kids. My sister raised her kids like that. And because of that, we all grew up to be productive citizens and to have respect, especially for our elders. Especially, and that's why it's so crazy to me. Some of these kids today, like, you couldn't even answer what? What did you say? Listen, there's a saying on Facebook I saw. Something said, a meme or something that said, I'm pretty sure they just said something crazy to the mom. I'm pretty sure I died and came back or something like that. And yeah, there'd be none of that. None of that. And even with my brother, as rough and tough as he was, he still respected my mother. Still did to the day he died. He knew better. He would never talk to my mother crazy, not like some of these kids cussing their moms out and these this and like whoa. But anyway, that's probably gonna be for maybe another podcast on my low key loud, something like that. But okay, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Let me go ahead and Crystal says hearing your voice makes it counts. Well, thank you. But on normal podcasts, like when I have like lots of things to say, that's different. But this was supposed to be a platform, for everybody, to share. And I understand some people aren't ready. It's okay. But I was kind of looking forward to hearing some really good stories and memories of others. But love you too, KK. So yeah, guys, I am going to sign off. And I guess don't forget Low Key Loud podcast. Season 1, episode 1 is coming this Wednesday. And it's only going to be streaming on my personal page because I don't have enough subscribers on YouTube yet or enough followers on the Facebook page yet. Once that happens, then I'll be able to stream directly to those pages. But I'm excited about it. It's going to be a lot of fun, y'all. So tune in for that. It's going to be crazy. We're going to be touching on reality TV shenanigans. Yes, sir. It's a little bit of old news now, but it's still kind of out there. But I'm anxious to see everyone else's opinions because I know how I feel about it, which I'll put it out there then. But I want to hear everyone else's opinion, all that. So it's going to be, Jackie, Christie, and Chantel. Was she wrong or no? Okay, guys. Well, I will talk to you later. Thank you for joining. I appreciate y'all. Have a good one. Bye.
Well, lovely people, we are signing off. I hope you enjoyed our episode this week. Be sure to tune in next Sunday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And remember, no matter how old or how young, our children will forever be our babies. We just have one with wings. Be gentle with yourself and take all the time you need to heal. Thanks for joining. Good night.